The reinforcements have arrived. These should help me get Moby running properly now, finally. This should be a battery. The right size. Perfect. And in here I have some supplies for the engine to get it running right. We have timing belt, which I'll do shortly. Alternator belt to keep that charging properly. Ignition leads, and that's a new distributor cap with spark plugs. An oil filter, there's oil coming, so we'll give it a treat once we get it going. A thermostat as well to keep the temperature correct. And wow, Tesla! That's a new coil, and also I've got the rotor arm to go with the new distributor cap. Class! I can finally give Moby back his battery, and the this is the correct shape for the Kadett, so its bracket works with it. The one for the Charade was straight sides because it has a bracket over the top, and that had no way of, couldn't be secured properly in this car. It was also a bit tall. I won't connect it yet now while I'm going at all these electrical parts. Coil is very easy to change on these. Take off the main lead. No. Reassuringly heavy. Right, that's all perfect. Did I have a socket in my hand just a second ago? Get more sleep. I was working on the bodywork of the car until 12 last night and back out at 7 this morning. Well, change the lead now. Quite wet. I'll do this distributor cap and the rotor arm next. Nice. Lower this first. That's the tin there. Even comes with the retaining nuts. Bolts. These ones are screws. Down this way. For fitting the battery, I think I better take it out again. That goes on one way. Do the plugs and the coil lead now. Take off the old one. Cool, they have the heat protection on them and everything. Okay, that's the coil lead. And then longest one for number 1. Number 2, 3, and 4. Don't you just love new parts? Yeah, 4. So the firing order on this is that one at the back is number 1. That's my long one. Then the next one that fires is 3, so that's my second longest one left. There's a little thing for this holds the spring. 1, 3, 4 fires next. Short one. Here's the distributor. Down there. And 2. It's the last one. These I'll do later. Let's see if that stuff's made any difference. This is how I had Moby running during Ted's Opal Vauxhall run and during my national car test. Not quite as bad as this. The only way I could keep it starting consistently was to tighten the throttle cable and hold the throttle open a little bit. But it wasn't returning to a nice solid place. So what I'm realising is that when I try to slacken off the cable to where it should be returning, it's cutting out, and that's what it was. I couldn't get it to idle just before I went into the test, and so what I did is I pulled that throttle cable to keep it open a little bit. So really what I need to do is I need to get the car running. The screw that actually that adjusts the end of this travel isn't screwed in far enough. So I need to get it catching on that, and then perhaps, like, I've noticed that when I'm adjusting the this idle screw here, it's been making no difference. So it's not relying on that to keep running. It's been relying on keeping the throttle open. So I need to catch the end of this travel and then adjust the idle screw, and then I should get the thing running right, I think. I did have I was heading for the NCT on Wednesday last week, but I had a return of the contamination in the fuel, and I did have more of that over the weekend while I was on the Ted's Opal Vauxhall run. But I started to realise that even though there was still a little bit of residue coming through, it actually it didn't quite seem to be related to the running issues, because once I cleaned it out, it wasn't actually improving things greatly. And that's why during the run I had to turn up, adjust this idle even more, just to keep things, keep it going. And I didn't have time to go rationally through everything there, because I had to keep going, I had to keep filming, both for ourselves and for the other entrants in the event. So we got around the route. It wasn't the most graceful, and we were revving a little bit too much the whole time, but it was still a great feeling to complete the 100-mile route and finish Moby's first day back on the road. With the national car test, everything actually passed except for the headlights, even with the fairly high idle. Not quite as high as that now, but as it was on the run, but with the fairly high idle I decided to just run it in, see what we could get, and at least we could go back. But it just about scraped the emissions. The only thing that didn't pass at the test was the two headlights. I need to change them from the German spec to Ireland or UK spec, and the other thing that was related to that is when they went to test the lens to see if it was solid, this one actually fell out in the tester's hand. So after all those thousands of miles in the trailer and transported up and down the country, it decided to fall out in his hand. Like, if it fell out any other time, it would have got smashed. And I'd really like to keep these for if I decide to travel with Moby in Europe at any time in the future. So what I have to do is get this screw in the back of this, catching the throttle in a position like this. You can hear that picking up the throttle there. I'll release the cable a bit. So now it's resting on this return screw. As was suggested to me on the run, this wasn't returning to a consistent position. So I can take up the rest of the adjustment with the idle screw here. Unfortunately, Moby doesn't have a rev counter, so I can't tell exactly what revs that is. So that seems pretty sweet to me. I'll go for a little spin. Well, that's the best I've had him running so far, and I got to collect the post.